Hello, Body Slams podcast viewers, and you're tuning in to Thursday Night Slams. That's right. This is I'm not gonna say this is not episode one. This is the first episode of us going bi-weekly. So now you're gonna see us every other week at 9:05 here exclusively on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you don't know how to find us, if you look down below, it says go to our official website at bodyslams.pro, where you can go there and check out all of our past Body Slams podcast shows, such as Breakfast and Body Slams, Thursday Night Slams, and our pop-up pipe bombs. If you want to listen to us on the go as well, you can easily check us out on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, as well as many others as well. So you don't want to miss out on any updates and stuff like that. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram too while you're at it. But you know what? I'm going to bring in my compadre, my homie, my bearded angel, because he's such a stud muffin, ladies, Mr. Dennis Reaper.
Bearded angel?
Yes. I don't know.
Listen, I've been introduced by some weird crap, but that has to be in the top three.
I'm literally going to come up with something different every time. So
I can see you doing it, though. I can physically see you taking a notebook to work every day.
Check out his OnlyFans page. $20 is $20. Brother needs the money.
I don't have an OnlyFans page.
We will soon.
No.
Body Slams podcast, OnlyFans. Boom. That's us. We're in.
No. But, you're on your own on that one. You're on your own. Pat can be the OnlyFans people. And
you know what? I don't even want to talk about.
No. Listen. They would pay him to keep his clothes on.
I don't even want to talk about him right now.
Charlie Haas.
Yeah, enough said. I'm like, I love the guy. I would love to have him on the show.
Oh, so would I.
But Pat, this is our show. Leave it up to us to book the guests. At least ask us permission before reaching out to somebody. But with that being said, speaking of Pat, well, let's give a shout out to him and the rest of the Devereaux Sports family out there. Starting off on Monday nights with the Sullivan Squad at 6 p.m. The Old School Show on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The Combat Misfits on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Thursday Night Slam, which is us, which you are watching right now, every other Thursday, which I got to change the thing up top. It says every Thursday, so I got to redo the graphics. Bi-weekly at 9:05 p.m. The Scrapple Boys, from my understanding, they are still on hiatus. So we're going to try to work something out. Maybe we can help them out, do a pop-up show with them. I don't know. We'll figure it out. On Sunday, you get to check out The Gobbler Inc. at 9 a.m. The Combat Misfits at 10 a.m. You get to see us again, but as Breakfast and Body Slams, because it's the morning time. We got to have breakfast, too. I need my cup of joe at 11 a.m. starting this Sunday. Every week, you're going to either have me or Dennis hosting. Sometimes maybe both if we're lucky. Sometimes we might be on the road, like let's say Ravens game or something like that. Wink, wink. Just saying.
I'm sorry.
And don't forget about our pop-up pipe bomb show, which can happen anytime, anywhere, with anyone. So, Dennis, I know you're on your phone. I'm hoping you're right there. You're sharing the broadcast right now because my phone's right here. I can't get to it yet. But as soon as you start talking and we get our guest in here, you
can start sharing.
Well, I'll share as soon as I get to it. Right now, I'm busy right now making our announcements. And one final note, I just got to show much love to our podcast affiliates out there who always show love back to these guys right here. And that is Anthony, Andy, and Brian at the Tornado Tag Podcast. Dave Keener and DB Richards at the 2300 Wrestling Podcast. Our newest affiliate, the guys at Backstabbers Wrestling Podcast, as well as all the way from Puerto Rico, Conversación de Lucha Libre. That's right. You can check out all these podcasts. Just Google them. You can find them all on all different kind of platforms to listen to when you're on the go, in the car, in the gym, whatsoever. Tune in, get a workout, whoop someone's ass during training, whatever the case may be. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know any new pop-up news from us or when we're going live for a pop-up show. You don't know. It happens. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for the evening, I like to start off with he is I hope I can say this right. He is formerly known as Funky Pharaoh. He is the Prince of Camden. That's right. And don't forget to follow him on Twitter, Prince of Camden, CMD at the end. Yeah, that's right. And don't forget to check out his Pro Wrestling Tees shop too as well. Get those shirts. Oh yeah, at Desean Pratt, and here he is, live and in color.
What's up, guys? How we doing today? I love Chio. I love the introduction. It was great. It was beautiful.
I'm all right. I'm moderate. I'm okay. I don't try to overdo myself, but whatsoever, it is what it is.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, we got a quick shout out. Someone's calling Nancy Pratt. Oh,
yes.
Look at this.
Hey, Suki. All right. That's what's up. So Mr. Pratt, Mr. Desean, and at the top there, I called you the Funky Pharaoh, but we're gonna get back to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that because I have the question for that guy.
Oh, definitely.
I gotta know I need an answer on that, but I'm gonna wait to ask that question for that.
Oh, there's a lot of stories.
I know there is.
And question and answers. He sure has them.
Listen,
because we go way back. Like,
oh man, yeah, yes we do.
I'm not gonna say we go back as far as Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, but
go back.
Yeah,
it's pretty close. It's
just like me and Dennis. Just like
there you go. Right.
Listen, me and Chio have known each other almost 14 years. I think I've worked on a dozen or more shows with you, Desean.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I worked the King of Trios tournament if you were on it or not. One of the last Allentown ones, they had the Young Bucks and AJ Styles teaming on it. I don't know if you were there. I don't know if you were there, but I have a feeling you were there.
I was there.
I reffed. So that was my debut reffing for Chikara, by the way, too.
You know what? Yes. Okay.
So I reffed.
Yeah.
I reffed. Which one? I reffed the meanie with the BWO.
Yes.
Versus that was fucking fun, by the way. I need video of this event.
Well, okay, so right.
No one believes that I reffed this show. And I've had Meanie literally tell people he reffed my goddamn match, people. But no, that was probably that was, like I said, that was my debut for Chikara as a referee because I was injured. So that was the only thing I was doing. But
enough about Dennis. Shut the hell up. We're here to talk about Desean.
All right, look. So then I'm gonna jump over Chio again because I'm above him.
Go ahead. Ask him
questions. The short people below him. I'm not gonna ask the normal question that Chio likes to start the show off with.
You do that. Why
you share. See, I got that. That's why we good partners here. So normally Chio always asks what got you involved in wrestling and things like that. And I don't want to ask the same question. So my question for you, we're going to start the show off with a heavy hitter. Out of all the things you've done in wrestling, right? All the companies you've worked with, people you've worked against, what would you say to younger talent trying to get into the business today from the experience you've had on what they need to do?
Right off the bat, train. train, and train some more. Yeah, this is an ever-changing business. It's one of those things that you never want to get stagnant, if you will. Always find a good reputable school. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of great talent out there with schools opening up to show the next generation the ropes, if you will. And just be ready to learn and listen, and most importantly, have fun. You gotta have fun. That's the main thing. Have fun.
You definitely gotta have fun. No, I would that's a question that I ask randomly at random people. Like, instead of the normal, like, what is the advice you give to these young kids? Like, I'm always like, train, find the right school, and do as many seminars as possible.
And that too. Yeah. And eat your vitamins.
People hate seminars. They're like, oh, it's a ripoff. No, they're not.
They really aren't. They're
the right seminars.
For sure. I mean, you can learn from, and the foolish man stops learning.
Yeah.
Essentially. And you never, ever, ever stop learning in this business.
No.
You never stop. And especially considering the fact too, with the seminars, you can always get everybody's like a different perspective on what we do. So why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that? Okay, I learned a little bit from this person. I learned a little bit from that person. Okay, I'm going to incorporate what this person said to me, in my match. Also, I remember this seminar. I want to incorporate that. So, why not be a sponge and soak all that in,
Oh, absolutely. I remember I did a, who was it? It was Gut Check. Everybody made fun of Gut Check. It was a seminar. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. You paid X amount of dollars to be seen. And you weren't getting signed by the company. It was just to be there.
Sure.
And I knew what it was. I had Rock and Rebel and everybody telling me exactly what it was. Like, I was. Yeah. And I'll say this: the biggest name that told me it was a money hungry grab was Devon Dudley. He did an LCW show. We all went out to eat, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Devon, question: What's your thoughts on Gut Check? Because you work." He goes, "It's all about the money. No one's ever going to get signed from it." He goes, "But don't pass it up. Go to it." Okay. Right. All I needed to hear those words.
There you go. See? Still go. Go get the experience.
I didn't care about that. I luckily had someone sponsor me to go because I didn't have the money when I got accepted to take it. But, dude, I remember sitting there and I think it was Simon Diamond that was holding the seminar, that was in charge of it. And he was like, look, the only thing I got to critique you about is you're a smaller guy and you pretty much let them beat the crap out of you. Why? It's like, because that's the way I was trained. As I'm a small guy, my job was to make the bigger guy look like a monster.
Exactly.
And he looked at me, he goes, yes and no. Yes, you want them to look like a monster, but no, you also want to look like you have some sort of hope that you could win the match. I'm like, oh.
For sure. Absolutely.
And the thing is, I wasn't a greenhorn. I've been in the business for like 8 years at that point. But I never saw it that way. I was always that guy if I'm going to face Chio and I was still 150 pounds soaking wet and Chio's still this guy, I know I'm going to go out there and just take the ass beating of a lifetime.
Right.
Right.
And then on top of that, for like if they want you to have a comeback by any chance, with you being a smaller guy, and it's going to be, you're going to work off your speed, your agility. You're going to let the big guy move slower when they're trying to capitalize, and and then eventually he's going to get his hands on you and do a little work, and eventually maybe if you're lucky, you come back with another a quick duck out of the way and then a quick drop kick or whatever here and there, that whole speed demon type of shit as the match goes on, which is logic.
Which was me back in 2008 to 2010. I didn't know how to slow myself down in the ring until I got yelled at by multiple guys, including Sergeant Sunday Dunn. And he literally said, slow the hell down and make it look nice. Okay.
Now, there you go. Now, Pratt, now with the way things are being done nowadays with trainees and trainers and stuff like that, we see a wide range of hybrid different styles. When you were just breaking in and you were going to Chikara, which Chikara pretty much welcomed all those styles into like one platform. Now, when you were looking to go to school, did you have your eyes on other schools before you picked up here at Chikara, or was this your first one and done? Boom, I'm going here, end the story. And that was.
Well, it was. I've always known about other schools in the area. Like when I was in high school, I knew about the Monster Factory, right? I knew about that, and I was like, wow, that's in Paulsboro. Like I was living at the time. I was living in well, I might have been living in
Pennsauken.
Yeah, I was in Pennsauken at the time, and I'm like, wait, that's only a half hour away from me. Wait, what is it? What? There's a wrestling. Wait, what is this? And but as I kind of like, progressed on, got older and everything, I came across Combat Zone Wrestling. I was always a fan of Combat Zone Wrestling. I was
Sorry
always,
to hear
that. I digress. I was always a fan of their shows. Always a fan. Like, I mean, you had such a hybrid style. There's that word again of wrestlers from everywhere. And we decided to join the school. It's when, the CZW and Chikara school had a conjoined school at the time.
Yes, I remember that.
Right, they had a conjoined school. So
wasn't it at the arena?
Correct. It was at the arena. So like I said, it was a conjoined school. Eventually, they decided to split the schools, and I just decided to stay with Chikara. Like we had the opportunity to go, okay, well, look, hey, here's the school. Where do you want to go? And I thought to just to stay with Chikara. I don't know, something in my gut said to stay there. And there it was.
now I remember back then, you were, I'm gonna say you're really a twig back then.
Oh man,
you as well as Ophidian, you were really small guys. And
oh yeah,
was you guys into getting in shape, working out, like to get like how you are now, or did it take time for you to like, damn, we actually got to put some work in? Like, do I really want to do this? Because me, when I was coming in, I seen the big guys hitting the gym and stuff like that, but
right.
when I was being trained, one of the things that wasn't instilled into me, like where some trainers make their students go hit the weights and stuff and go run and do that wasn't still that I didn't get that. It was me, it was constant in-ring work. It was in-ring work. Yeah. That's all I did, in-ring, and it wasn't really about, like, I think I would probably be in a lot better condition right now if they would grab me, pull me to the side, said, look, you need to do this, bottom line, or you're not working. But they ended up putting me on the shows of work. So it was like, oh, I ain't gotta work out. I'm in the ring now, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But but we learn our lesson as we go, though. So
sure, man, you live and learn.
Yeah, but back to you, what was you into conditioning and stuff before?
Well, yeah, because absolutely, because I played sports in high school. So in school, I was a wrestler in middle school. I was a wrestler in high school. So again, you had to condition and weight train and train for your matches. So it was completely the same thing with this. You knew you had to be in a certain shape. You got to have a certain amount of conditioning to be able to even remotely run the ropes. Okay, take a bump. Okay. Be able to go at the time, again, an 8-minute match. You would think, okay, 8 minutes is fine. But like, if you're not in shape and you're not in ring shape, that 8 minutes is going to feel like an eternity. Whereas,
fast burn cardio where it comes in.
100%. Exactly. And if your body's not used to that, oh man, it's going to hit the wall fast. Yeah. And then that's when you go to the back, and then your trainer's going to go, it's time for you to hit the gym, right? I think you need to boost up the cardio, boost up the conditioning.
Right now, unfortunately, I'm at that crossroads. I have injuries. I have back problems and stuff like that. But at 45, I still have that itch.
Sure.
So it's like I'm a lazy ass where I see my recliner, I'm thinking heaven. And but I'm at work though, and I'm on my feet and I'm up and down steps, this, that, whatever, and I can feel it in my lower back, and something's telling me, yo, go back to the gym, get the cardio. But then it's the motivation though of sometimes you like to have someone there to help push you just as much,
Absolutely.
So it's kind of hard to find the motivation and being older now, trying to find the time because I got the kids, I got the grandkids, I got other stuff going on too as well, which you know what, I feel like I need for me to how was it like with Rocky and Paulie, where there's the stuff in the basement, you got
and I was gonna say, dude,
I'm like, I gotta get it out, I gotta get it out, I gotta get it out. So I feel like I might have to eventually maybe stop doing rentals of the sound rental and stuff and this and that, start hitting the gym again, maybe get some new gear and make one more run before I turn 50, because I'm only like 5 years away, before I hit 50. I'm like, I at least want to have some solid matches with some great guys before I say, okay, I'm done, guys, that's it, end of story. Like my time, like I know I'm not gonna go nowhere, but if I can stick around and help somebody else though too, get like, for instance, one guy who's been around, who's helping everybody, King Kalua. He's the man. He is the man.
Yes,
he is. To God.
Yes, he is. He's a great guy, filled with knowledge. I mean, like, even when, like, I listen when he speaks. Because again, like it's like we were saying at the top of the interview, again, you always can pick certain things from certain people and just get different perspectives. And I've gotten a lot of perspective from him just watching his matches, just watching how he puts them together. And then just asking him, okay, hey, I saw you did this, and this. Okay, why'd you pick that there? And then I'm just, okay, where's my notebook? Here's my pen. I'm jotting down notes. So now, cool.
And you're just having a general conversation. And you're learning at the same time.
100%, like I'm, and then again, the same thing too. And then it's just like, hey, by the way, would you mind watching my match?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then, okay, he's going to come to me and he's just going to be like, okay, hey, this is what I think, this is, again, the compliment sandwich, if you will. Hey, this is what I think you did great on, right? This here can use a little work. I don't know what you were trying to get to, here with this, but, we might need to tweak that up a bit. But everything else ended up being good. You know what I mean? And then just making it.
No, I was going to say, some of the best things that can come out in a match is the really tiny, small things that you don't even think of.
No, exactly. Those are my favorites.
Like, it could be a stare. It could be the way you position your body, your motion.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. It could be the okay, when you're climbing up, go up like this and not like that, or it's just random, different, small things.
Just little nuances. It's always those little nuances.
Look,
always.
That literally just happened to me this weekend at ACPW. Missy Sampson was there. She brought one of the girls from the Monster Factory, which I love. Missy, love her. She's a sweetheart, but she's also knowledgeable as shit.
Very much.
People might not agree with that, but I'm pretty sure Danny Cage, Ricky Reyes, Blue Meanie, all of us can disagree with them, and they can go to hell. Missy Sampson is a encyclopedia of wrestling. We're understanding this business now. Me and my opponent, the ring had some issues during the day. So I kept it a safe, simple match. I was told to keep it simple. I kept it simple as shit. Didn't do anything. We got done the match, and I knew it wasn't a good match. I get out to the locker room, and I get told, hey, you're needed outside by Gemini and Missy Sampson. It's never good when you get called out of the locker room not even 5 minutes after your match to go talk to them. And I was expecting it. So I go out back and I look at Gemini. I looked at her. I go, I already know the match wasn't good, but I want to know what I did wrong. So they broke it down, and I'm a man of my word. I go, they're looking at me like stuff, and I'm like, look, I booked this match. I booked it the wrong way. I hear what you're saying, but I booked it. I'm the one that called what we were going to do. I'm taking full blame, full responsibility. That's on me. I'm the vet. Now I go home and I watch it. And when I tell you they were on point 100%, yes.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good match. Like, it on paper and the move, everything that we did flowed. But the crowd didn't really care too much. And that's what killed it.
That's it, and that's again, what I always explain down to the kids down at Skid Row. A crowd reaction is so much better than your moves.
Oh God, yeah.
Genuine crowd reaction. And again, I use this analogy all the time. Why do we go see Marvel movies? We know there's going to be dope fight scenes. We know they're going to be awesome. We know we're going to see high octane action, but that's not why we are paying our hard-earned money. We want to care about the story. We want to care about the genuine reaction. We want to have that genuine stand-in reaction or ovation at the end of the movie because we enjoyed it.
You know where I see the biggest pops at though in those kind of movies is during the Easter eggs. They come out of nowhere and they go crazy.
Or you wait 5 minutes after credits and you get you get that big Easter egg.
And you get two of them.
It's not the Easter eggs during the movie.
Yeah, it's the ones like after.
It's like the grand finale of fireworks.
You know it's over, but you're still sitting because something's gonna happen.
Exactly, and I'm glad you're saying that. And the best thing about that is which makes that even sweeter is you wait for it.
Yeah,
you're waiting for it, and even though we all know that's the Marvel gimmick. You wait 5-10 minutes at the end, you're going to get something good, right? And we all know that this is going to happen, right? We all know that we're going to get introduced to something good, but every single time we walk out of that movie theater and go,
damn,
I can't wait for the next one.
Yes.
That's how, and I always say, that's the reaction your fans should have leaving your show. Like, man, I got to get to the next one.
Like that.
I got to get to the next one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I gotta get to I gotta get to the next one. I'm that blown away that I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on the sequel.
And that's the problem with a lot of promotions nowadays. They don't book their matches and give them an idea of, hey, this is what I want. I'm looking for out of your match, and here's how I want. This is what I want in some of your match. They just go, hey, you're working him. You're gonna work her.
They don't build up to that climax.
Like,
that's what it's just.
I'm gonna say this
throw it in and see what sticks.
When we did DEF CON tapings at the dungeon with Mark Messina for my promotion, the very first episode I had shit typed up and printed out weeks in advance. And I had to send it to Troy Mess and Mark Mess because they were also helping me, and they loved it. They were like, you know what, everything in that works. This is great. Day of the show, we had to change half the card because some of the guys no-showed it for a taping. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks guys, appreciate it. But we didn't change what we needed out of the match. We just changed the person out of the match. That was about it, you know. And Outbreak does it. Ryan Vox, at Outbreak, these guys Ryan puts a lot of work into that show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Ryan the tip my hat to him. All those guys collectively in Outbreak, Mark and Ryan, Antonio, I could name everybody almost if I wanted to, but I know the one guy doesn't even like talking on the camera, so if I mention his name, he might actually punch me.
Jerry Strunk.
You know what? You get punched for it. Okay, that's on you. I'm gonna see him Saturday. I don't want to get hit. And I love Jerry. Too. Dan, now I gotta see you too. So. Shit. But that's the thing. We were all trained I was trained by Mark Mess and Troy Mess. I was trained that way. So I know what I need to do and how to run a show. But I hate when I when I have a match and I book myself and I book my match wrong. Because it eats me up inside. Because I'm like, God damn it, why did I think that was going to be a good idea? And I talked to Missy privately about it. I go, the only reason I kept it that way is the ring was broken. It's like it had a broken weld. So what are me and this big guy gonna do?
Right.
The biggest move I did, the biggest move I did was a top rope elbow drop. That looked amazing. And they popped for it. But there was not she was like, you could have did like a brawl and fought. I go, but I did that last month. I did a hardcore match that was a brawl. So I didn't want to do it again. But she pitched it a different way to where I could have did it. And that's what I love about her. She didn't tell me what I did right. I never want to know what I did right in the match. I want to know what I did wrong in my match.
Sure.
How am I going to get better at what I'm doing right? I'm going to get better at what we're doing wrong. And that's what,
all you got to do is train.
Train, exactly.
Yeah. And
the next
speaking
question,
I was going to say, speaking of training, because when you trained down at the Wrestle Factory, you were under the tutelage of Mike Quackenbush,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hero,
Mm-hmm.
and was that it, or was there any other
Well,
training?
well, at the time, yeah, it was those two. Then Claudio ended up, kind of stepping into a trainer role too. So I got a little bit of Claudio's training before he went off to bigger, greener pastures.
What
So
and what was the atmosphere like during these training sessions with these individuals?
it was, you know what? It was very, very like bring your best every time, and we're going to bring the best out of you. It was tough. I remember my first day of training, I puked. I threw up. I literally, we were running drills back and forth, just running and running and running. And, you get the sweat pouring and then your eyes start to glaze over. And all of a sudden I see my partner, but all of a sudden I don't see my partner because my vision's getting blurry. And then I just stopped and went, yep, rolled out the ring. And at the time too, and it was funny because it was almost embarrassing because the arena's got the acoustic when it's empty. So I'm pretty sure all my trainees heard me puking in the bathroom. But you know what I mean? Because they were just like, well, he's not coming back. Usually you puke, you grab your bag, you walk out. But I was just like, nah, all right, I got it out of my system. Let's get back to work.
So I guess I'm not the only one that's thrown up in that arena then from a training.
Oh man, no. A lot of people have thrown up in that arena.
I have training. I tried out for PWU when they did training at that school, at that building, and my tryout, I was so blown in 3 minutes of just doing simple shit. I walked out back, I threw up, I came back in, they go, "Yeah, all right." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what I have left in me, but I'm gonna try." They were like, "Oh no, you're done."
No.
They were like, "You impressed us in the 3 minutes you were in the ring, but your body's already shut on you." He goes, "There's a difference. You haven't been here. You haven't even. This is your tryout. If we want to if you would want to come to our school, this isn't one of those like you've been wrestling for training for 6 months. This was an audition to come on the show where your body's used to that. This is day one of learning what a bump feels like." And I was like, "Well, it's not the first time I bumped, but okay."
Right.
Like, but no, I love having that story.
You were saying about you couldn't see your partner. Now, at the time, you were Amasis teaming with Ophidian as the Osirian portal.
Yes.
Now, at the time during your training, did you guys already decide, hey, hands down, we're gonna be partners? You guys. No. Or was like, okay, we're gonna get you and you. We like you two guys. We're gonna put you guys together.
That's literally how it happened.
Yeah,
that's literally how it happened. They put us together. They put the act together. They gave me, my character.
And the thing is, your characters went viral, big time. Like with the one you had everyone.
The dance. That's my question. There it is. You brought it up.
Go ahead.
How amazing was that dance routine that y'all pulled off? And the biggest dude in the locker rooms comes out, Greg Excellence, stripping butt ass naked.
We had no idea he was going to do that, and it was amazing, and that's what made it awesome. And so it was funny. So like a lot of people will ask me, like, how did we come up with that? Like, what do we? So we were like, okay, we had this match. I believe it was the semifinals of the CZW Tag Team Championship. They were vacated at the time, and it was us as the Osirian portal against the Runaways of Joe Gacy and Ryan Slater. And we're thinking like, okay, cool. What can we? Again, we had a pretty good showing out here. Okay, in this match, okay, this is the semifinals. What can we do to really wow this CZW crowd? Because it's like they're one of the toughest crowds to get over.
Yes,
completely. At that time, at that late 90s, early 2000s, they were the tough. It was like going to the Primus in ancient Greece, and if they gave you the thumbs down, that's it. You're done. And we just decided to like, yo, let's really bring our characters out. Like, we were a little nervous about that at first because it's like, will they get it? Will they understand it? Like, this isn't a happy-go-lucky, fun, goofy character promotion. This is blood, guts, violence. Like, will they understand it? And we were just like, you know what, forget it. Let's just do it. Let's just run with it. And the more we talked about it, the more ridiculous it got. And we just, again, it was one of those things, you just threw whatever at the wall and see what stuck. And what you guys saw literally was just, most of that was put together that day. You know what I mean? And like I said, and then Greg was like, yo, you guys need a body? He was like, dude, yes, yes, come here. Yes. And then, like I said, he's in his Superman skivvies, just, air humping the air around the arena. And I'm just like, that's Greg. Excellent. That was glory. And
I don't know if you've seen Greg. Not nowadays. I seen a recent body shot he put online. He's looking really good. He's lost a lot
of weight. I have seen him, and I mean, really big ups to him. You can definitely tell, like, again, he changed his lifestyle around. He was just like, hey, this is for me. I need something to do. I need to do this for me. I need to do this for my family. Yep. I need to stick around for my family. So, yeah, I commend him. I haven't seen him in years, but yeah, no, he definitely does look great. Definitely looks good.
It's funny when we come across people online, especially workers that we haven't seen in years, how much they changed over the years, like whether for the best or for the worse. It's just like, wow, you're still alive, that kind of thing. Because just because we haven't seen you in so long.
For sure, exactly, and that's the first thing you think about. Because it's like, damn, I haven't seen you or heard from you in God knows how long. Like, we always end to think the worst. Like, man, like, whatever happened to so and so? Like,
it's like it's like me and you by chance. Like, the first time we met face to face was at DTW. Prior to that, I knew who you were. I knew who the Portal was and stuff like that. Because in the past, I actually took my kids to Chikara shows when they were in Reading. Because I live in Reading. So I took them there, and I just chilled out because I wanted my kids to at least have fun and enjoy the the costumes, the masks, and the ha. It was a great show for kids. So that's the only reason why I went.
Sure.
And like I said, I don't know if you ever heard of me at the time, but your reaction when you came in the locker room, it was like almost like, yeah, I know you are. Like, hey, buddy. And I'm thinking to myself, I know who you are. I'm like, but you're acting like you know who I am, and I'm like, but I don't give off that vibe. I don't. At that time, I wasn't giving off that vibe because that was like how many years ago, though. But now I have some time in the business. Now people know me from doing other things in the business besides teaming with JoJo, because that's what a lot of people remember was Dark Carnival, me and JoJo.
Dark Carnival, yeah.
Which prior to that, before I hooked up with JoJo, it was actually Joker and JoJo as Dark Carnival, and I believe G's at the time, Sabian, I believe he was a member of the Dark Carnival as well with them.
Right.
Yeah. So it was them first. This is from what I got from the story I got. I haven't heard it from G's yet, but we'll have him on in the new season on the first show, and I'll get the story from him. But yeah, apparently him and Joker want to go to CZW. JoJo didn't, and and me and JoJo met up at a SWO show one time. Then we worked for Triple WA for a little bit, and he's like, what the hell? Let's just team up together. We're about the same size. We can make it work, and we did. And we had a good 5-6 year run.
Absolutely.
It was a good 5-6 years. We had some decent matches, a couple names here and there. But yeah, as soon as I met you, I was like, yeah, I know these guys. I'm like me. I was popping for you and your partner back then. I'm like, oh, look at these guys working DTW. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think I have like 2 videos up online of DTW with you guys in, maybe. Probably. I would have to find them and splice them for you.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the video, I believe I have them.
So we have a question.
Okay.
By the way, we have a question. It's from one of our other analysts, the better Bernard, Monkey Bernard.
There we go.
He wants to know what inspired you to become a professional wrestler.
So with that, like, I mean, with becoming a professional wrestler, I was a fan. I was always a fan. I was a fan of that. So, and I started again going back around to CCW, going to their shows, starting to go to their shows, and I was a big Blackout fan.
Yes,
huge Blackout fan. Ruckus, Sabian, Joker, Kingston, like those were my guys. I would go to the shows and drop hundreds of dollars on Blackout merch because I was that much of a fan. And it was more so watching those guys because again, a lot of them at the time, even Joker, they were like my height, my size. And I'm like, wow, like okay. Again, it was starting to get to the point where it's like that mantra of you got to be 6 foot plus, 220 solid muscle, whatever the case may be. And like these guys like look like me. They're jacked up, they're ripped, and they're athletic. And I'm like, wow, if these guys can do it, maybe I can give it a shot. And I believe it was I think it was like the last show that I went to. It was one CZW show, and then it was like 2 years later I started training. So yeah, it was actually just going to live shows and just really wanting to be a part of that. It was always something that I wanted to do as a kid. Like, they always ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up in preschool? A firefighter, a police officer, a doctor. I want to be a professional wrestler, but just actually being in front of a live crowd and actually seeing a live event, it was really cool to just be like, yo, hey, I really want to become a part of this. I want to do this,
Yep. That's what it did for me. Like I look, when I was in school, I was like, I wanted to be a football player, baseball player, because like my dad always took me to the vet to watch baseball games. Like, I mean, there was days I would get my teacher be like, hey Dennis, your dad's here for you for a doctor's appointment. Like, what? Didn't know I had a doctor's appointment. All right, I guess this is news to me. I get in the car. He'd drive off the school property. He'd be like, hey, the Philly stuff's in the back. We're going to do a baseball game. What? You took me out of school for baseball? Yeah.
That's what's up.
Like, when I say I probably missed from elementary to middle school before moving to Florida, I probably missed over 100 days between the 8 years of school for baseball games for the day. Just because my dad's like, hey, we're going to go to a baseball game. Like, he'd wait in the mornings, too. He'd be like, hey, you want to go to the Phillies game today at, like, 1? Yeah. All right, look. Go to school.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to. Who wants to stay in school? I don't want to be in school. Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, go to school, and around 11 o'clock, say you don't feel good and go to the nurse. I'm like, all right. Yo, they never called on, and if they did, they should have just came out and said it. But
right, exactly.
That's why I always wanted to be a baseball player, because I went to so many baseball games. In my mind, I'm like, what would be cooler than to play bro baseball and be like, it's because my dad kept taking me out of school for baseball.
Yeah,
and then
that was it.
In, I want to say 6th grade, I got a concussion from doing mat wrestling, and they had a indie show at the school at Columbia Middle School, and my dad knew a gentleman that was friends with the Patriot. We'll keep his shoot name off the book, but the Patriot at the moment. And I got to see wrestling for the first time. The second time, the first time I got to see Ric Flair wrestle when WWF at the time was still allowing his guys to wrestle indie shows. But I didn't get hooked at that point. I wasn't hooked yet. But it was when I got to see it in person again the second time, and they were like, hey, do the fans want to come in the ring? And I actually got in the ring. And it was like that very moment, I was like,
that was it.
Dope. This is pretty cool. I went to a bunch of WWE shows. I was like, all right, this is nifty. What won me over and sealed the deal was WrestleMania 18. Rock Hogan. That entire WrestleMania was the end of it all. Because I was like, I want that moment. I want to hear 90,000 people chant Dennis Reaper or whatever the name I'd ever have. And that, I'm an asshole or whatever. I didn't care. I just want to hear it chanted. So then I got in the indies. Like I started training in Orlando with a guy named Rock and Roll Rouge when TNA was in Orlando, and I was doing street team shit with TNA. Unfortunately, the school closed, and within the first month of training, so like then I moved back up here. But no, that was a good question, Mikey, because no one really ever asked that question. Usually, it's like, what wrestler inspired you to wrestle?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
like what exactly?
Inspired you to become a wrestler?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
no, absolutely.
Now, but before we mentioned about you working for Chikara, working for Combat Zone. Currently, you're on let me see, Skid Row. Super Crazy Pro Wrestling, PPW. Not too long ago, Impact.
Yes,
but
sir.
We didn't touch on the fact that you worked for some bigger companies such as Ring of Honor, Evolve, Dragon Gate USA, 01 Japan. Now, what was it like traveling abroad to another country for places like for 01? And I know it's a big culture shock being young at age, and then you're obviously getting in a way bigger ring, and the training and the trainees over there, their training is a lot tougher than what we do here.
Listen,
so before you got in the ring over there, they put you through the workouts. Did they?
Actually, you know what? So no, we didn't. Like, now they didn't give us like the dojo workouts, like the 500 Hindu squats, the like the Takayama treatment. We didn't get that. They did, however, want us to work out. So like there was a gym called Mid Breath over there. A lot of the Dragon Gate guys work out there. So like Mid Breath is a chain gym throughout Japan that all pro wrestlers can work out for free there.
Oh wow.
So so we get there on a Sunday. It was Sunday. We flew out because we had a show in Baltimore, flew out to Japan Sunday our time, but got there Monday their time. Okay. So we got there like Monday 5:30, and it was weird, man, like how like connected like they are with everything. So like we get in our hotel room. So they had the young boy meet us at the hotel, at the airport. We go ahead, we travel out, we get in our hotel, and the guy's like, all right, hey, I'll check you guys later. Cool, no problem. Soon as we get in our room, like literally slide the room key in, and we're putting our bags down, our hotel phone is ringing. And we're like, who the heck is calling that? Wait, why? Like, what's going on? It was the office telling us, the 01 office, like, hey, training is Wednesday morning. We're gonna meet down in the lobby at 8:00. Don't be late. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was just like, yo, how'd they know we was in our hotel room already though? Like that's what I'm tripping on.
They
like,
got cameras watching you.
And I was like, I kid you not, like as soon as we like literally put our bags down, our phone is ringing. And then then after that, we get a phone call from Daisuke Sekimoto. They're like, oh, you guys are here. Hey, we want to take you out. And I'm like, yo, how does everybody know we're at this specific hotel, this room? Like, is this like common knowledge for everybody?
It was probably the hotel.
It's funny. It's funny because I love hearing stories from Americans who go over there and travel abroad, and they tell us their experiences. And this is great by far right now, just from the beginning of them calling you.
Right there, like I'm like, wow, you guys are on point. Like y'all spying on us to making sure we get here, like, or whatever. Like, but it was a lot of fun. So the one thing that we did was so it was excuse me, I said there was a Wednesday, it was a Tuesday we had to meet up with them. Wednesday was the show down in Kurikan. So Tuesday we had to get there, get ready to go. So we go ahead. They're like, okay, go work out at the gym for an hour. Then we go to the dojo. So what they were explaining to us that over here, we call our matches backstage, right? Okay, when Peter's together, blah, 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 when we work together. So, but over there, they don't do that because they have TV cameras all around. So, like, usually, again, we've all watched, like after New Japan or even Dragon Gate, after the match, they go down the steps, they sit down in front of the big, drop screen, cut the promo, and keep it moving, right? That's literally what they had. So they were like, yeah, we don't call the matches there. So, we had to literally piece the match together in the dojo. Now, the funny thing about it was the one kid who were working wasn't present at the dojo. So it was Ophidian and myself, and it was Menonori Sawa and one of their young boys who just recently kind of like got out of his black trunk, black boots phase. Like, you can dye your hair, or you can have a look now. You've earned your bones. Now you can have a character. You can have a personality, an identity.
Because now is that tradition? Let's see, that's something I did not pick up on for the young boys. Is it they always have to keep the plain look, black tights,
black tights, black boots, and if you ever look at a lot of the times in their matches over in Japan, is you only really get the young boy only really gets 3 moves, 3 of your best moves. Like, so it wasn't like nowadays, you wrestle a young guy, he's got 1,000,001 spots that he wants to call. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Over there, she's like, hold on, wait a second.
Which right there I like, because I missed the days of the jobbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need, the days of the jobbers, because you got too many greenhorns coming out of schools and thinking they're superstars right away.
Well, yeah. And I mean, and that's honestly how. That's actually how a lot of our matches, first-time matches in Chikara was. They didn't allow us to do multiple moves. It was literally pick 3 of your best moves, okay? Like, that you do perfect every single time. We're live, pal. 3 moves, bop-a-da-bop that you can hit. Those are the only 3 moves, and you can pick your spots. And, like, so a couple of times, too, again, you're married off to your trainer. Right. So, when you wrestle, you make your first matches. So it was always, Mike piecing together. Okay, cool. Monsters, you're going to hit this move here. Okay. Then we're going to do this. Like, they're literally giving me my cues, and it's my job to shut up and listen and, and do that. So, but like I said, so over in Japan, they have to do, their young boy phase. So they kind of basically earn their bones. So, like I said, the kid wasn't there, but somehow, some way, he knew the match, like front to back. It was, again, how connected they are over there. Like, did somebody email him the match? Like, yo, this is what we're doing. So, Affinity and I are calling the match to each other in the back. Like, we find like a little corner. And we're in Kirk and Hall, by the way, like, in, which is the Mecca.
Man, that I was gonna say just now. As soon as you said that, like, yo,
the Mecca.
It's MSG over there.
Yes, exactly. Like, exactly. And so, which was really cool too. So you go in there and you go up the little stairwell. You see all of the like wrestlers who work in Kurikan sign their name on the wall. Wow. So we saw like Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. We seen like all these guys, and we're like, yo, you got a marker? You got a marker? Yeah, we're putting our name up there. So we put our name up there too. We got to put our name up there. We saw like Claudio's name up there, Sarah's name up there. It was awesome. And so again, we go ahead, we piece the match together. We're piecing the match together, and we're going on after intermission. So I'm like, all right, man, we're ready. We got this. First match, Kirk and Hall. We're the Gaijin coming over. It's our first time over Japan. We got to wow these guys. Otherwise, they're going to be like, yeah, the portal sucks. We're going to send you on the first play pack and never bring you guys back again. So music hits. I'm like, we're ready, man. I say my pre-match prayer. I'm ready to go. We walk out there, and you just see the seats of just people. Every seat was filled in Kirk and Hall. And Ophidian's getting ready to go make his entrance. And as he's like, pumping himself up, I'm tapping him on the leg. He doesn't feel me tapping him on the leg. And he goes to go to the ring. I frantically grab him by the shoulder and I pull him. He's like, yo, what's up? And I go, I forgot everything. Well, Like literally,
shit.
I at the entranceway, I grab him by the shoulder and go, I forgot everything. Like the whole match, blank. Like I had it, go to the curtain in Kirk and Hall. Like it was like somebody took a dry eraser on a erase board and just did this in my brain. And I was just like, yo, I literally just forgot this match. And he's just like, nah, you're just nervous, calm down, relax. Like just breathe, just cool. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he got to start the match off, and just watching him, because again, we redid this in the dojo. And I'm watching him. He's going through. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, so he's gonna do this spot. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. All right, I got this. All right, cool. We're back on track. But like, that was like one of the scariest moments of my professional wrestling career. Like debuting at Kirk and Hall for over in Japan, 0-1. They invited us over. We better not make asses of ourselves. And I literally, like I said, forget the entire match.
now, for that moment in time, being there, how many times have you performed in Corrigan Hall?
That was my one and only.
One and only. So would you put this on as like, okay, not making it to WWE or whatever, would this be your WrestleMania moment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially because of, again, coming into the business at the time I did, I started training around the like 2005, 2006 area. And whereas like, we're Japanese wrestling is just still a buzz over here. It's still popping. And so again, which was great, we had guys like Kingston in the locker room, who is a Japanese wrestling connoisseur.
Yeah.
Like that dude can just talk Japanese.
He absorbs it. Yeah.
Absorbs it. Like he can just talk Japanese wrestling like it's nothing. And I remember just like one road trip I was on, it was Ophidian and myself, Hero and King. And it was late night, and we just got on the subject of talking Japanese wrestling. And I didn't know what it was. Like, I mean, like I knew who Ultimo Dragon was, I knew who Jushin Liger was because of WCW. But I didn't know what New Japan was. I didn't know what Dragon Gate was. I didn't know what All Japan was. Until he was just like, okay, watch this. Okay, no. He gave me a bunch of stuff to YouTube. And when I went home and I'm watching it, and I was just absorbing it. Like, I'm watching, watching Muda over in Japan. Like, I watched him in WCW, but I was like, wow, why does this Muda seem so different than the Muda that I seen in WCW? Like,
you know what's
the
funny,
aura is there.
You know what's funny though, when you go watch old Japanese matches and you watch if depending on who this person's opponent is, if you watch a Hulk Hogan match, he can actually fucking work.
Yo,
I'm
man,
over there, he actually work.
Man, listen, yes. I remember the first time I came across that clip. It was just like him just doing a quick high spot, and I just went, wait, what?
Yeah, like what the fuck is it?
What? Hold on, huh? That's wow, yeah, and and it's again night and day, like over, and again, whereas I explain to people, over there it's a sport, so you gotta move, you gotta you got to bring it over there. And that's the thing, because they will bring it over there. They will bring it to you. Like, and that was the one thing too. I remember Sarah telling us about when we were going over there. She was like, one of the things that she's like, you guys are very nice, like over here, respectful. She's like, but don't let them take advantage of you. And we're like, well, what do you mean? Like, don't let them take advantage of you. Like, what's that? What do you mean by that? And she's just like, well, like they're going to test you. And again, we're like, okay, you're speaking in code here. What do you mean by test us? She's like, so basically, essentially, it's like she said that some of the wrestlers over there do get hot when the guys can come over. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and again, that's essentially what Gaijin means, foreigner.
Because back then, Gaijin is actually even currently to this day, it is a let's say derogatory
term. It is. It's a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Yes.
But us in wrestling,
exactly,
but us in wrestling, we take it as we're the guys. Yeah, we embraced it. It's like dropping the N. It's like dropping the N word. Brothers,
it became a term of endearment.
Brothers embrace it, and they put the "g" and not the "gur" on the end.
Exactly. Like I said, it became a term of endearment. Right. Exactly.
It's like we own that.
Exactly. And like luckily, like thankfully, like that didn't happen in the match. Like they didn't try to like muscle up on us or anything like that. But like I knew, like I feel like in the beginning of that match in Kirk, and like there was like a little bit of a test in there. Because I got in with the guy by, like I said, Mananori Sawa. Like, he was battle arts, and so he's a shoot fighter. Like with that battle arts, if anybody's ever watched battle arts, it's shoot wrestling. Like it's it's that hybrid style, if you will, Pancrase style.
I have yet to get a chance, but I'm gonna look it up.
It is awesome. It's some of the most hard hitting wrestling out. It's great stuff. So like I said, he was like the guy for battle arts. And so, I was the bigger one of the tag team. So he was like, you know what? You're a striker. We'll put you with the striker. And I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. And again, he's got hands. I'm not going to lie. Like my man's got some hands, and we're going at it. We're squaring up, and he open palm slaps me in the face. Like open palm. And I took a step back, and I look at Ophidian, and I'm like, the CMD's coming out now. And it's just like, hold up. Did this just really? And I'm thinking, and again, it's funny, when that happened, I'm thinking of what Sarah said. You better fight back. Because if not, you're going to have a long night. You're going to have a long night. This dude is going to have his way with you, and not in a good way. You're going to have a long night. So, cool. I literally walk up to him and I give it back to him. And he takes a step back, and I see him kind of do one of these and go, okay. And we work.
Okay, I got. Yeah, I was gonna say I got you.
I got it. Like we work. You ain't no punk. You're right, exactly. He ain't no punk. So
let's do business.
Cool. Right, we just do me exactly. Like, all right, cool. I can't mess with you. Because I was just like, man. And like I said, when that happened, I was just thinking, like, wait, okay, is this the tactic she was talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like I said, it wasn't like disrespectful. It was more challenging. Like, you're a Kirk, and like I've been here. You just got here. You know what I mean? Like, this is your debut in Kirk and Hall. Like I've been making marquee matches here. So I felt like it was more like a state your business here, youngster. Like what you got? Type thing.
Gotcha. Now, one question I gotta ask. I have to ask this. Do you have a Ribera jacket?
I do not have a Ribera jacket.
I always wanted one,
dude.
But I never went to Japan. You go to Japan and you don't got one.
Yo, that was my biggest. See, and again too. So again, that was still new to me too. The Ribera jacket, the origin of the Ribera jacket, the tradition of what the Ribera jacket is like. So I'm like, so I actually remember. Like I knew what Ribera was. Like you always seen, again, Legion of Doom, all those guys over there in their Zubaz, at Ribera. So like we knew what it was. We just never on our tour with 01, we just never made it out there to go. And I'm still kicking myself in the rear end to this day that I do not have a Ribera jacket.
Now, if you're lucky, G's might pull his out and let you try it on.
What? I would like that because like let me be a part of the club. Let me see what this power feels like because
honestly,
like man,
I saw people. I think I saw like one jacket being sold on eBay, but I don't know if it was legit or if it was just like a bootleg copy or whatever. But do you see yourself going back sometime?
I would love to. I would definitely love to. That's one of my goals is to actually get back over to Japan and do work.
Yep.
And really just get out there and just give it my all. Again, it's just like I had that little taste. That was maybe 2009 when we went.
Oh, that was a while ago.
That was
yeah,
I was 1 year in at that moment.
See what I mean? See what
I
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like
in 2009,
2009, 2010 when we went over there. But yeah, it's long past due for me to get back over there. It was
that's one of my goals as well. So I have 3 goals on my list in wrestling, and it has nothing to do with the machine at all. People think it's funny that I say it that way.
Sure.
One is to wrestle in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
One is to wrestle over in Germany and Britain, and the third is to wrestle in Mexico.
Yeah, this is the only place I haven't touched down in is Mexico. Yet.
Those are the 3 places I want to wrestle.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say the easiest way to work in any of those 3 locations, if you travel on your own dime.
Yep.
And you work for the small indies that are over there in those locations.
Yeah, get your name out there.
And that's the only way, unless you get noticed and someone's bringing you over, you're like I said, your best bet is just take a year off and travel on your own dime, whatever you got saved up if you can, and get a temporary job in those countries to make some extra money while you're there too at the same time, so you can get to your next location. So
it's all about the grind, right?
I asked Rick Swan that. I was like, what's the best advice you can give? He goes, honestly, I have a kid and stuff, so it's hard for me to go just for a year and say, F it, I'm going. He is like, go for 30 days.
Yeah.
He goes, literally find promotions out there for 30 days. Wrestle every day in Japan. Yeah. He goes, if you're there for 30 days and you wrestle every day for 30 days, you're guaranteed to be seen by the big guys. Yeah. He goes, you'll never know who they are. He goes, there's like a book full of names that will be at these shows. You'll never recognize them. You never notice them. You'll notice them when they come over and hand you the business card and say, call this number. And that's about it. Okay.
That's it.
That's all I want. I'll go over there for 30 days. And if I can land the number on the first week and a half and get to do that and wrestle for one of the big companies, I don't care.
That's it.
Well,
my goal and dream has been made.
Well, the good thing about me is that
you're old and you don't have to.
Well, this year is the girls' last year. In high school, they will all be graduating.
There you go.
I build up a lot of PTO time where I can take off for probably a month myself if I wanted to, and just do a tour here in the States because I ain't got a passport, and with COVID still on the rise, still.
Oh God, yeah.
We ain't going nowhere no time soon though.
Sure.
But if I do get the courage to get up off my recliner and back into the gym and get the cardio in and stuff like that, I'm gonna put Mr. Pratt on my list of one of the guys who I want to work and go.
Look,
I'm
down.
Let's get to work.
Can we just do a 3-way here?
Let's get to work.
Here? Triple threat.
Let's get to work.
I'm just saying. Get to work. I'm just saying. I'm going to be soon coming up to the school soon because I'm parting ways where I'm at. And that's the first time I've said that live on air. I'm just not worth my time to be there anymore. It's not that. It's the disrespect.
Yeah.
And stuff.
It happens everywhere. It happens.
I'm gonna say it this way: going to a school and train is great, but when you're not responding to the trainers about when you can go, is an issue. They're like, I wasn't able to go for a full month because my work had me scheduled all the time going to Delaware on my days that I was supposed to be local. I can't do nothing about that. That's past how I pay my bills.
That's how you
eat. On the days that I was able to, I would say, hey, on a week, the day before, I need to know by today, by 5 or 6, who's all coming, and we get no air. It'd be air. Now, the new people that are, the other guy that's training there now is getting the same kind of responses, and I can tell it's frustrating. But at the same time, it's nothing personal. It's just business.
Right.
What am I getting out of it? I was making a 40-minute drive. The train helped, teach these guys like for 2 hours and trying to keep it on the simple basic shit because they were training on the weekends with other people that were doing more high intervals of stuff. So I was keeping it simple during the week, heavy on the weekend. That's the way it was for me. But I wasn't getting anything out of it. So like I wasn't really getting any in-ring work. So I keep telling O-Dog and them that I'm going to be coming up there, and they're like, the door's open anytime you want, man.
Door's open. Come on in. Well, come on down.
Like, I know it's open. I'm walking with arms wide open at that goddamn place. I love O-Dog and all them. But
come on down. Come work.
Dog go back like same thing with you guys, but I go a lot further back with O-Dog than I do both of yous.
Sure.
And we know you are one of the trainers down there. You're doing big things because you're with the Dynasty now. The Dynasty.
Yeah.
Recently we had Tony Batista on.
Yes.
Now,
Big Tony.
Now we have you on the first G's on the first episode of season 2 when we start. And then the only thing we got to get is a Hardway on, and then
Hardway, dude, you're right. That's it. You had the entire Dynasty on your show.
Damn Skippy.
The ratings just go up. The ratings just went up.
I'm trying.
The ratings
I'm trying, but I gotta talk to the right people to make these kind of things happen, though. Have their people call my people, and we'll see what's up. Whatever they do, just don't talk to Pat.
Just a quick parlay, man. That's it. You can talk business.
I was looking through the PWI 500 just before we got on, and I took notice you wasn't in this year's nomination. I went back online and I found like you were in 2 others. In 2009 you were at 355, and 2011 you were at 349. I couldn't find you in anywhere else. I probably missed out on it or wherever I'm looking at, but I'm sure you must have been in other years as well, because as long as you've been around, there's no way you couldn't have, for you just had to been. So, but that's the only 2 I found on here. Now where we were talking about schools and stuff like that, and I have in my mindset a plan of resurrecting a school myself, of which I once trained at, and if and when it does happen, it will be open under the same name. I got the blessings, and I would love to have someone of your talent to come in, do a seminar, or just come in whenever you feel like just kicking the shit out of guys,
I thank you for firstly, thank you for the invite, and I would love to come down and help teach and show the next generation, because I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy it a lot, because again, it's like the one thing about it is, what's that?
I was gonna say the one thing I want to incorporate though with this such thing, I don't want to make it just initially wrestling school. I want to as a safe haven, like an after school thing too, as well as kids from school that can come who like wrestling, but at the same time they can do other things. If they don't want to get into the physical aspect of it, some might know how to do video production, some might know how to do graphics, whatever.
Give them a platform to show their work. Exactly.
Yes. They can use us.
Give them a platform. That's it. That's all they need.
Where they can take that back to school and use it as credit towards whatever they're doing.
And they're building their resume.
And that's what I want to do. I like to help kids and get them off the street too, like that.
I like that idea, man. That's a really, really great, not even good. It's a great idea.
Yep.
Especially with the way technology is. Again, you're going to get a lot of videographers. You're going to get a lot of, graphic designers and everything like that. So, absolutely, no. I think that's a great idea, and I go for it.
And you figure the way we came up, like, okay, you came up in the Camden area. I came up in the Kensington area when I was down in Philly. You see how
one
much
of the same, right? One of the same, right?
So it's like it's like we've seen the opportunities what we had there, which wasn't much. You had to go to the outskirts to find just the smallest thing to attract yourself, to try to keep yourself out of trouble. But it was hard because trouble was all around you anyway, regardless.
I mean, like you said, it could find you at any given point. Even when you're not looking for it, it can find you. You can always find yourself wrapped up in something out there. And I was grateful that like wrestling kept me on the straight and narrow, which was like, you know what I mean? Like it was always that. Even just when I was in high school, again, playing wrestling for the team, that's what always kept me grounded, kept me away from all of that. So like it was never one to think like, okay, well, all right, hey man, I see the boys on the corner flashing, 20s, 50s, 100s, like, damn, I want to be like them. I just saw a dope boy up here just get a new Benz this week. Like, nah, that didn't appeal to me. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't my thing. I had to find role models outside of my area, because at the end of the day, like you said, growing up where you grew up, that's all we had as role models, right? Exactly. Seeing those guys on the corner flashing the money and wearing the latest and greatest clothes and rocking, driving the latest car, and you're like, damn, I want to be that dude. How can I be down?
Now, what was some of your 9 to 5s? While you're in the business,
man. Wow. So my main 9 to when I first started training, my 9 to 5 was I was a manager at CVS. Believe it or not. Okay. I was 19. Yeah, 19. When I started training.
Yes, I was there. I was dishwashing.
Yeah, and I was in. It was just and that was being a shift supervisor at the CVS paid for wrestling school. Like I was busting my ass overtime here and there, just to pay my little bit of money to get to wrestling school. It was a very joyous day for me when I was like worked to get my first down payment of class of school, like to train. I was just like, wow, like I'm here. I finally, like, this is something that I've always kept talking about, to telling everybody I'm going to do this. Hey, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. I'm going to go be a professional wrestler. I'm sure people are like, all right, man, we hear you. Damn, like you told us like 20 million times already. But are you going to really do it?
On top of that, did at the time did you have people trying to shut down your idea? Like, dude,
absolutely.
Your time, just go to work. Your
absolutely.
Uncle Bob, Jim, or whatever works at a mechanic. You should go work with him.
Listen, I even remember specifically when I was had to have been maybe 8th grade. Yeah, because I was going because again, it was 8th grade, because you go into high school, you go to sit down with your guidance counselors. They're like, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? Just like you were saying, we got to start building a plan and this and the third. Again, I never wanted to do anything but be a professional wrestler. At that time, like I was just like, that's all I ever wanted to do. That's all I ever wanted to do. And you're sitting down with a couple of your teachers, sitting down with your guidance counselor, and they sit down, and then you got this big long table, and she's sitting at the end of it, and she's like, all right, what are your goals after high school? What are your goals after you graduate? And I was like, I'm going to work, I'm going to get a job, but I'm saving that money to go to professional wrestling school. I want to be a world-class professional wrestler, world-famous professional wrestler. She covered her mouth to snicker, and actually both of my teachers blatantly laughed. And she looked at me and was like, well, you're going to need a backup plan because you're not going to make it.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, aren't you a guidance counselor? Aren't you supposed to guide me to my goal? You literally just encourage me. You literally just took, like, because it was out of the ordinary. again, I didn't say I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't say I wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't say I wanted to go to, med school, whatever the case may be. I gave you something that was out of the ordinary and something that you couldn't comprehend. And it became so asinine to you that you just literally just decimated a young kid's dream. Like, wow.
Now, you know what you're saying right now just brought flashbacks of Rocky. Remember, he's retired. He wanted that one more fight, and he went and talked to that council, and they tried to deny him. And he's like, "No, what's so hard about a man going, toe to toe with someone? Didn't you guys have any hopes and dreams to become something? Why are you gonna, try?
You got to stamp on mine, exactly.
Yeah,
like you clearly wanted to be a guidance counselor. Did anybody stamp on your dreams? No. Yeah, why are you stamping on mine? And it was funny. Like I always thought about that person before every match. It's funny to this day. I still think about that day.
You just want to go back and see him right now. I'm like, hey, look what I'm doing. How about you?
Right. Look what I've done. Look what I've been doing. Like, you're probably still here being a guidance counselor. Big ups to you. No shade, but hey, I was traveling the world. Hey, I was on TV here. I was on TV in another country. Like, I had a small WWE tryout. Like, these are the things I've done. Like, you told me I couldn't do any of them.
Well, that there, I didn't even know that you just mentioned just now.
Yep. I knew that.
Yeah, because
there's things that I know.
As much research I was doing, that never popped up.
Well, it wasn't like one of the ones like you get I haven't had the opportunity to be blessed to go down to the performance center, to do the main tryout. It was more so I was doing extra work for Raw and SmackDown, and so backstage when you go up, right, and then so we were in Raw. At Raw in Philly, and then we were in Boston for SmackDown, and usually, that's where they do the tryouts and everything like that. So it was me. Funny thing about it was me. 3.0 was there.
Ooh.
It was me, 3.0, and a couple guys from New York. That were all doing it. And it was fun. It was nerve-wracking, but it was fun because one of the guys, his physical didn't come back in time, so he wasn't able to participate in the tryout. So William Regal comes up and he's just like, okay, well, somebody's gonna have to wrestle twice. And nobody raised their hand. And I was just like, looked here, looked, and I was just like, all right, look, I'll do it. I'll do it. And so I did like 2 matches. I got to do 2 matches in front of William Regal. And which got great feedback. Nothing came of it, but again, it was an experience. Like I can say that, I've got to do me along with a bunch of my other peers. But
you know what? It had to make you feel good though. The fact that they said someone had to wrestle twice, and you looked around, and you were the only one out.
No one said anything. No one said anything, and
they did not want it bad enough. Then,
no.
Right? I mean, that's what the thing. And it was just kind of like
everyone's hand should have been raised.
Yeah,
I would have thought exactly. Like you get not 1 but 2 opportunities to show what you have, and so like I worked. So I worked twice. So they had me wrestle first as a babyface, and then they had me work second as a heel. And so I'm doing the first time around, like there's nobody else, nobody's ringside, nobody's there. So I'm like, all right, cool, great. This is cool. All right, cool. This is good. This is good. No extra added pressure. And then when it comes,
so it was empty arena. You mean
it was empty arena? Okay, but what I mean by that was like all the guys and all the stars weren't at ringside because I've always heard stories that they all like to come and watch the tryouts.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So we went through the tryouts and like not many of them were out there, but like if they weren't really paying much attention. Then it got to the point where, okay, cool. It was me and one other guy, young kid from New York, and we were like the final match, and we're squaring up. Okay, cool. And Jason Ayers was the ref, and we're squaring up, and I just noticed at this point in time, just about every superstar is out there watching us, and I was just like, y'all. Now you guys come out now, oh my gosh, man. So now the pressure is on. So I was just like, all right, cool, relax. You act like you've been somewhere before, D. Like you've got here, just work. And so we were doing it, and then I cut a promo in front of Regal, and he was like, he liked the promo. He was just like, you're a hard worker. I can tell you work hard. You were very impressive today. And I remember I was walking back to the locker room to change to go to catering, and Sheamus was walking in front of me. And, he's kind of walking behind, he kind of does like one of these looks. And he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I like your heel work in there. Really cool. And I was just like, oh, wow, you were watching? Oh, snap. Like, wow, thanks, man. Like, I appreciate that. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's just, again, it's like one of those things, like, you never know who's watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that made the experience even cooler, I guess. You know what I mean? So
I think what probably would have been great for you, like, okay, if they would have came and said, hey, we want you to get in with one of our names for your tryout in there, and your luck just so happened it would be Cesaro, Claudio.
Man, listen,
that would have been great for you.
Hey, dude, like remember that we used to do? Yeah, let's do that. Let's exactly. No, that would have been.
If that was the case, you probably be signed already.
No, right on. No, absolutely. But like I couldn't have been so lucky. I couldn't have been so lucky. As a matter of fact, when I got there, he was actually on injury. So he wasn't there, and I think this was around the time he and Sheamus were teaming.
Was this?
They just had that. They had that Best of 7 series. What's that?
Was Hero there too?
No, he was still. I think he.
When he was
I think
in NXT as Ono.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So at this point in time, Cesaro was up there on the main stage for like at least like 3-4 years at this point in time, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Because like I said, they just put Sheamus and him together as a tag team after that like that grueling Best of 7 series.
Bar, yeah.
Yeah. So and then it became the bar. Yeah. So it was cool because when I got the call to do that, like he was originally going to be on that run. But like I said, he got injured, and I was just like, oh man, like it was really cool to, it would have been really cool to see him, but it was also cool to see a lot of other people, like getting to see AJ. No, I haven't got to see him. Like he wasn't there yet. Lindsay wasn't there yet.
Well, that's right. That's right, because the 205 didn't happen yet. Then.
Didn't happen yet. 205 Live. 205 Live happened like maybe 2 years after this, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. Should have been,
but it was actually cool.
It was 2 years.
Yeah, and
because I
it was
remember,
cool. Like I saw, like I got to see AJ again, which was cool. So like he remembered me from King of Trios, when we worked when we had the opportunity to work the Bullet Club of the Young Bucks and him, and it was just cool. And he's just like, "Yo, hey man, what's up?" Like just shooting the breeze. I was like, he was after he made his last few rounds on the Indies before he made his debut at the Royal Rumble.
It's funny when guys from the Indies come up for a tryout, and then you got the bigger names who are buddy up with them, like, and then you got the look from everyone else.
Yeah, like, wait, how you know?
Man,
how you know him?
This guy, exactly. This guy might have a shot because he's buddy with so and so.
Right.
Well, that's what happened on what was it, the NXT Tough Enough thing with Matt Cross when he ran into I think it was CM Punk at the time backstage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, this guy's gonna get signed."
Yeah.
And it didn't go. It didn't work that way.
Yeah, and it doesn't work that way. Like
No.
Yeah, like
doesn't.
Matt
You know
Cross
what I
was
mean?
on
Like
Matt Cross was on an interview, and they had brought it up, and they go, "So why didn't you get signed after they realized you were friends with Punk?" He goes, "Because I didn't use Punk as a reference."
exactly.
Like, why would I want a job that my friend gets me? Why do I want to? I want a job that I got me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
look, I know Cedric Alexander from when I did a tournament down in North Carolina, and my opponent decided to make me look like the drizzling shits in a ring because he wouldn't let me do shit in the ring. We talked about it, and I mean, when I say this kid got ripped into in the locker room by the vets because I was about to rip his head off, the kid almost hurt me 4 different times in the same match.
Yeah.
And Cedric worked him in the main event for this title. Well, the Crazy 8 tournament, one of the originals, and Cedric whooped his ass. And ever since then, me and him been friends. So, like, I was happy when I saw him up there, and everybody's like, "Well, you know Cedric." I go, "Look, I know about a dozen people in WWE,
Right.
half a dozen in Impact, probably me and Chio know one of the main editors in AEW."
Right.
But
Yeah,
I'm not doing
ridiculous.
I'm not doing the hey man, can you get me a
Hey
an
man,
invite?
what's up? Like,
No.
no, exactly.
No, you know
right.
why? Because I didn't earn it. I want to
Right.
earn my opportunity. Like,
For sure.
I took
And
photos
again too, and I even say too, like, again, there's nothing wrong with using your resources. Again, like if I'm gonna reach out to somebody, I'm gonna say, hey, who do I speak to?
Yes.
Not, hey, can you get me here? No. Who do I speak to? All I ask is to point me into the direction of the door. I'm gonna kick it open myself.
Yep. Like
just show me where the door is.
I just went to AEW and I ran into Bryce.
Yep.
Haven't seen Bryce since the King of Trios.
Sure.
And I was like, hey man, I don't know if you remember me. And I explained to him, he's like, no, I do. He goes, have you been? We talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Fans were like, who are you? I'm like, I'm a nobody, man. Don't worry about it.
Right, exactly. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
And Bryce laughed. Bryce just giggled about it. He's like, a nobody? Well, I am. I'm not you. I'm like, I'm just a normal person that knows you. I'm not making a big deal about this. But, that's just the way it is for me. Like, just because I know people doesn't mean, like, yes. I asked Earl Hebner about, I was like, look, I've been wrestling for almost 14 years. I'm getting to that point to where I don't want to wrestle no more. But I did enjoy reffing. I had a lot of fun being a referee because it's better to have a referee that's a wrestler because they know how to work the match better, in my opinion. But he was like, honestly, you just have to go to the tryouts. He goes, there's nothing I can do. I'm like, well, I don't want you to do anything. I just wanted to know what would be the best route to do this.
Yeah.
And I had a try. I did TNA stuff in Allentown when they did stuff, and they did their tapings. And I got brought in due to the ring guy at the time that was doing the rings. And I talked to Earl. I talked to Jared. I talked to all of them. I never asked for a job. They had me help set up the freaking Feast or Fire and had let me work out in the ring with people. And I was just like, cool. And just went right back to do security. Like, nonchalantly, I'm doing teenage security. So then they gave me a role where I had to help Jeff Hardy on the gurney in the stretcher, since I was actually I was doing ride-alongs with EMS and stuff. So I'm the most qualified person out of the group of people on the show that knows what to do and make it look legit. Right. But afterwards, we got back and we got backstage and they're like, "So how'd you like it?" I was like, "It was cool. I want to ref though." Well, we don't have any reffing spots available. I was like, okay, but when will you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still going to want it back if, like, 7 months down the road, you go, hey, do you want to? Yes, I want to ref here.
Yeah, right. Remember, exactly. I remember the conversation. We had it. Yes, I still want it. Yes.
I want to earn my opportunity. So just give me that one shot. And you're not going to be let down. That's what I took photos at AEW. I sent them the photos. It's like, these are you. I took photos with my nice camera. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to take photos for you guys. I took photos in New Japan. Did the same thing. And I've gotten responses back from both promotions.
Yeah.
So when New Japan comes to Philly, I'm most likely going to take photos for them now. For what they want. I was like, I don't want you to give me a job. I want to earn my job.
Yeah, exactly. Again, give me some direction. Right, exactly.
Like, let
I'm
me come on night
I'm
one.
not coming up to you like this.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not coming up to you like this. Again, it's just let me work. Just
I was like,
point me in the direct direction.
You know, I pitched them. Let me take photos of one match in the very beginning, and then I'll come to the locker room or load my laptop up. I'll let you look at the photos. If you think I'm good enough to keep taking photos, let me go back out. But if you don't think I'm up to that level, you can tell me to go sit with the fans. Just nonchalantly, like it's a do or die. It's either I do good and I get to take more, or I die because here's why we didn't like your photos. You need to work on this a little bit more. Cool.
But here's the thing: you don't really die because you took that opportunity to make something of that.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Like in wrestling, you know, not a lot of that's a loss. That's a loss.
There's a lot of people who don't want to take the chance
because it's a lost art. It's a lost art. We'll just say it that way because no one wants to. Everybody wants to train you like, hey, Desean, you know, you did really, really well at today's practice and training. You keep doing what you're doing instead of, hey, look, man. We had, you know, tonight's practice training was great. There was a lot of positive things you did, but here's the things that didn't look so good. So I need you to work on these at home. There's no bumping or anything, but your strikes are a little light.
Yeah.
And they look a little robotic. I need you to work on these for the next 4 days until the next day of training. When you come back, we're going to start with strikes and see if you did it.
Exactly.
You know, or hey, your promo sucks.
Sean, like Pratt, if you keep up the hard work, I know you're a little disappointed. I might be able to get you a bootleg Ribera jacket.
Hey, you know what? I would rock that with pride. All right, they don't gotta know it's bootleg.
Here's the easiest way to get a legit one. Just message Rob Feinstein. I think he has some for sale.
Don't even go there. He's already all right.
I'm just saying, the man always has legit ones.
Yeah.
If you want it, they may got it.
All right, Desean, we are already like an hour and a half.
Wow. Hey, we're having fun.
Earlier, you mentioned about, you were going to Combat Zone and you're watching Blackout, one of your favorite groups of guys watch. And now, what's it like right now standing side by side as part of the dynasty in the group with formerly Sabian, now known as Black G's, you once watched them, now you're standing with them?
It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's funny because it's like the only person that I've never got to work with out of that, that stable out of my fandom is Kingston. Okay. And that's the only one I didn't get to work with. So it's like I've gotten to work with Sabian and Joker. I've got to work with Ruckus and Sabian, and I've got, and now I'm teaming with G's. It's funny how things come full circle in professional wrestling. It's still wild to me out. Like it's funny because it's just like these were the dudes why like that.
I watched, and now you're working with them.
And I'm working with them. It's crazy. And it's funny because it's like, let's go even further back. Like even before the first time I even saw Ruckus was when I never even knew what CZW was until a lot of people, that's not from the area won't know this, but like we had a lot of wrestling on public access television back in the day. Of the WGTW channel 19 or channel 48,
and they had the late night stuff.
The late night stuff, exactly.
Just like how ECW was back in the day.
Thank you, exactly. And I came across CZW one night, and Ruckus just happened to be wrestling. It might have been Ruckus and Trent Acid because they always put on classic matches. I mean, if there's a match that you want to put on TV, it's those two.
I had the opportunity to catch Ruckus before he went to CZW, so to see him do his thing, it was like for this little young, I don't want to say fat, I'm gonna say chubby. Right. And he's running up the walls doing backflips and doing all this crazy. I'm like, he should not be doing this. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
and then fortunately, like you, I had the gracious opportunity to work with at the time Sabian. Geez, when he was Sabian at the time, and I actually got to work with Ruckus, which when I worked Ruckus, we never met each other before, but I seen a lot of his work.
Yeah.
And him and Robbie were together.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to, I think he was supposed to work somebody else or whatever that was scheduled, and I was there. And Dirty D's Darren Wise, this was for NCW out in the York area.
Okay.
He's like Chio at the time. I don't think I was going by Chio. I think I was going by one of my older names prior. He said, yeah, you're working Ruckus. Like, oh, all right, cool. And at the time, I was in better shape and I could go a lot more, but I was more agile and stuff like that. So he came to me and, and we started going over some of the stuff that he does, like, which I watched a lot of his stuff online because I liked his shit that he put out.
Yeah.
So I knew what to expect a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
So boom. So we went out there and we hit. And like for me to study like certain guys, like between him and then when I had the opportunity to work the Briscoes twice, and then Josh Daniels, who worked over in Japan as well too, when he was over here, I got the opportunity to work with Trent, and Nick Burke, and it's like some of these like guys that are well known in the Philly area from back then is like, and I sit here and think, what would my career be like if I would have stayed in the Philly area and trained with them? Because I trained with them for a little bit down at Trent and Johnny. I met them over at Hawkins Gym for a really quick short time, but I mainly met like Mike Keener there and Reckless Youth and a couple others like here and there, Billy Real.
Yeah.
So it was that Hawkins Gym type of guys. Like if I would have stuck around, who knows where I would be then if I stuck with that crowd. But no, I ended up moving back to Reading, which then, the quality of training just is not up there like the guys from the Philly scene.
Yeah, so from the Philly scene, right? Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. And at that time, the Northeast was the hub. We like to call it the hub. Everyone came from out west, the Midwest, down south to come train up here because again, we're pumping out again, you got New York, Philly, Jersey, just pumping out stars. Like, it was almost like for that little bit of time, the Northeast, in a way, like it still kind of does to some degree, like had the wrestling scene on lock for a while. Like it was one of those spots, like, you make it here, you can make it anywhere in this game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you said, just you name all those guys that kind of inspired you and just gave you that inspiration and motivation to get into this business and to thrive in this business. Like, and it's funny again, like you said, to just kind of still rub elbows with all those guys. And like I said, it's still pretty cool to me. Still is.
And then right now with everything going on with your career with wrestling and stuff but now I believe injury or whatnot, are you still a personal trainer? Because last time I checked, you actually were a personal trainer.
I still am. No, I still do that.
All right.
I still do that. So, which is why, which is great because like any injury I get, I can just kind of work on myself a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do that. I do that on top of doing wrestling.
It's funny because my brother, he is actually a personal trainer himself. Of course, I always call him a big dumb bodybuilder. Myself,
I lift things up and put him down.
Yeah, he's a meathead. Yo, he kind of reminds you of Roman Reigns, but short, a little bit shorter.
Sure.
Yeah. But and he's on that whole kick of acknowledge me. I'm like, man, I'm gonna acknowledge my foot in your ass. I'm like, shit. If you remember, I'm big brother.
Right, exactly. No matter how much muscle you put on.
But he's always bugging me to come to the gym with him, but where he works out, he he has a steady clientele. There wouldn't really be no time for me to get into that gym there, but he goes to another gym closer to him. But I'm not gonna drive like 45 minutes north just to go work out with him.
Yeah.
So no. So like I gotta find my own motivation here. And then like if by chance me and him, our goals are this is like I said about opening the school.
Yeah.
He was always a huge wrestling fan himself. And one of the goals was like how we keep talking about is like, okay, if I do end up opening a school and if the place is big enough, we get some weights in there and he starts doing some personal training out of there too. So we'll have a school and a gym together.
Absolutely.
You know, brothers working together, putting in that work, making sure the guys know in-ring work as well as the physical part of nutrition and all that stuff, because he's
important.
all for that stuff.
It's important.
Yeah, he does.
It's
all
very
that.
important. Yeah. No, it sounds like you've been thinking about this.
Yeah. The plan's been there for years. Yeah, the plan's been there. It's all about the cheddar. The cheddar,
okay,
you know.
Sure. Right. That's usually it, right? Exactly. You know.
Trust me,
but
I checked my Powerball ticket today and I didn't get to walk out of work.
Not yet. Okay. Well,
No,
we just gotta. Okay. Well, we just gotta keep playing, right? And just keep that positive energy, right?
That's right. We gotta keep.
You can't win if you don't play, right?
Look, if I would play the Powerball and win, I ain't telling a motherfucking soul. Okay, first.
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy the most nonchalant house, but I'm gonna buy a big ass mansion too as the main home. But like when I invite people over, it's gonna be like one of those like suburb houses that people are like, oh, that's cool. And then I leave and I go, look at this 10-house mansion. Y'all have no idea.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm a simple guy. Where like if I come into money, like it'd be nice to have that nice suburban home, but I can see myself on a farm, you know, just not
absolutely
not farming, just peace and quiet.
Quiet.
Like 20 acres.
Your neighbors are 3 miles down the road. Love it.
Clark Kent, Smallville, have the dog running around, whatever.
Look, I've always said that. Like, if I would ever win the lotto, like my big thing is like I love animals, horses, and stuff are my favorite animals to go to.
Yeah, me too.
So I would absolutely build property on like 20 acres, have a little race car track for the little one to race her race car, me to have a horse, just because I want a horse.
That's it.
I don't know how to ride a horse or anything, but I want a horse.
You know what's funny? Pratt, do you remember Jimmy Clydesdale?
Yes, God rest his soul. But yes. Yes.
That boy was loaded, and a lot of us didn't know it.
See, I didn't know that, and that's nothing you would have never known the way he carried himself.
Dude.
Here's the thing, and I always tell you, people with money don't flash it.
He didn't. Dude, me and JoJo walked into his house the one time, and like he walked into this, like he had little compartment doors you walk through, and there's like a whole arcade game room. You went to another room, a doorway, and it looked like he just walked into a closet, and he turned and like disappeared. Like, what the hell? So we walked in behind him. We're walking down this corridor. It's a small corridor, but at the end, we get there, and he has these huge shelves filled with nothing but candy. It was like going to like a candy store. And he's like, dude, just grab what you want. I'm like, nah, I'm good. JoJo's there. I'm taking this. I'm gonna take that.
You gotta tell me. JoJo's already going in.
I can see the thing is, I can see JoJo doing that.
Dude, look at it. Like he's letting me go beforehand.
He's taking his hat off, filling it in.
Dude. Literally the way Jaden, the way he described it, he's like Clydesdale basically lives on a compound. Like, what the fuck you mean a compound? It's like they have like the one main house that's like a mini mansion, and then they have all these other mini mansions around it. It's like it's one big land. They had their own baseball field, I think basketball court too. So it was like all the family there. They were either like lawyers, doctors, that kind of shit.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
Like, holy shit. And you know what? I just gotta say, God bless his soul.
Yeah,
Jimmy
man.
Clizo, he was the humblest guy down to earth. Like
He
I
really
said,
was.
he didn't show at all that he came from that lifestyle.
No, like I said,
know?
I would have never have guessed it.
And I love that dude. I loved
Yeah.
him. You know,
Yeah.
he managed us once. He refereed pretty much all the DTW shows and stuff like that. Oh, he was great. At Doc Diamonds at the DWF over there too.
That's actually where I first met him.
Okay.
Down there at the when it was at the Powerhouse Gym.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we met. That's where we met That's where we met a lot of the guys. That's where I met JoJo.
Big L, Craze.
Thank you. I was about to say, who's the other Spanish boy? Big L. Yeah, Louis Q.
Craze. Louis Q.
Yeah, Louis Q. All those guys. And Doc.
Actually, you know what's funny? The very last match I had was for Outbreak. We did a pre-show match. JoJo came up, and for the pre-show match, we did a one night only. Me and him, we worked Crazed without the hood. He was working, showing his face off, and Problem Child. So one night only,
DTW, like
exactly. One night only. It was a DTW match. Unfortunately, prior to the match, something pulled in my leg, like a cramp or something. Well, I had my brace on and something popped in my leg, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" and this that. But you know what? I still went out and worked anyway, regardless. I said,
right,
yeah. So it was like I just had to do it. But
yeah.
But yeah, oh my God, we're almost 2 hours in. Holy shit,
2 hours in.
I looked at my phone. I'm like,
this was supposed to be a short interview. This was supposed to be like an hour. Yeah, this was supposed to be like an hour.
But you got to look at it this way. Out of all the guests we've had on the show, this is someone that we've known for a while. That is someone that's a local guy that has traveled all over the world. That we could literally just talk for another probably 2 hours about the different things all goddamn night.
Yeah.
But we all have shoot jobs in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You're going to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
I've already done my 2 yawn minimum. If I yawn one more time, that's my cue of like last week. I literally dipped on the show. I literally was like,
"Oh yeah,
yo, I'm out." And just
that's like your third. Damn, that's crazy, right? Like, oh man, damn.
Yes,
that's crazy. Look at it. Look at the time. Ooh, damn, is that midnight already?
It's time to go. Like I felt bad, but I was so exhausted last Thursday. Like I was falling asleep on the show, and our guest didn't come. So he's interviewing, or not last week. It was the week before.
Right.
That I just like straight up dipped. Was like he's like, and
I'm over it. I'm done.
Is T, and I was like, yo, I'm out. I'm falling asleep, and just left studio. And let me tell you,
a lot of times we just call this shit on the fly, like
100%.
Just because sometimes just we go off script and it just like, hey, it is what it is. It's just like a match.
It is, and sometimes it makes for better entertainment.
Well, the thing is. We have a private chat group, right? Apparently someone watched one of our shows for sports and they were like, all the guys are on their phone and this and that. Well, they are. Some of them are playing on their phone. But whenever I'm on my phone, I'm looking at wrestling stuff. Or when we're when we were in the studio, me and Chio, out of all of our analysts, are the only two with an iPad in front of us that have the show in front of us so we can see the comments. And our cell phones are going with what we're going to go over.
Yeah.
And I laughed and I'm like, yeah, you can have notes all day long. You can. But we're talking about pro wrestling. This isn't baseball and football where you need to have the stats and shit.
And the thing is, me and him, we've been a part of this world. We know what the hell we're talking about. So it comes a little bit more fluently for us than the other guys.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, oh my God, yeah, an hour and 54 minutes. So, Desean, where are you going to be seen next?
So you can actually catch me next Saturday at Super Crazy Pro. It is our season finale, Surface of Doom. I will be in a War Games match. In the main event, War Games match. Yeah, so it should be fun. It should be some fun, and then after that, I'm going to kind of again re-rest and recalibrate, and then you can catch me for On Point. Back in January, I make my return back to there.
I seen On Point is making Skid Row their new home now, I guess.
Yeah. Because that was the first building that they ran On Point Wrestling in. That was like their first really big building. Yeah. So
it's like a
wrestling comes full circle. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
so those are the two places for right now until I'm fully cleared and ready to go. Then the calendar will bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, by the time you get ready, I'll be ready too. We're gonna lock.
Hey man, let's go. Let's work.
You know what, Daddy?
I'm just gonna say this way: I don't have anything to do next Saturday.
I'm booked. I'm booked Saturday and Sunday.
I was technically booked to go all the way up to New York for the big event, and I was gonna do a pre-show on Friday night, which we pitched to the company of showing people where all these big stars were gonna be and everything like that. But we haven't really got any information about what time to be there, so I'm just gonna say we're not going now for Reap the Future. So maybe I might just be popping up as Super Crazy.
Hey, again, you know where we are.
I'm gonna be running into G's this Saturday.
So am I
at that AAW. So maybe I'll tell them to break out that Ribera jacket.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Right.
You would probably drive home and get it for next weekend just to go. Hey, Pratt. Check this out, man.
I'm just be like, yeah.
Like I love.
I got the ball on that one.
I enjoyed. I saw G's a couple weeks ago at what was it? Keystone Championship Wrestling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun hanging out with him then. Like I haven't seen him in months, and he always treats me like family. It's there's the certain handshake and the hug. Mine's always the big fucking slap. Big fat pat, and then he's like, "So how you been?"
Yeah.
When you know someone, when you know people in the business, like, I don't treat you like if I don't know you from Adam's hole in the ground. I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? I'll give you the little tip.
Exactly. I haven't really
now.
Like, yo, what's going on? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's good? Or you give him you put, yo, what's up? How you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah.
If I know you,
that happened to me over at the last. That kind of happened to me at the last Super Crazy show that I attended. When Swanee showed up out of nowhere. Well, because he was on the show afterward. He see me backstage. He's like, "Holy shit!" He went all crazy, threw a big ass hug on me. I'm like, "Okay," because back then Swanee wasn't 18 yet, and he used to watch me wrestle too. Yeah. But he was breakdancing, and that's what caught my eye. Like, all right, boy, you got skills. Like, you got to incorporate that into your your work.
I just saw Swan down in Baltimore at Slubfest. And we were bullshitting. And the first thing we both said to each other, we haven't seen each other since ACW working for Twisted Tate. Like, damn, bro. Like, it's been that long since we've physically seen each other. He goes, yeah. I'm like, God damn. All right, well. By the way, he's just waiting on dates from us, man.
Yeah. I recently just hit him up like this week or last week? I haven't heard back from him yet.
Well, I hit him up to bring him in for Icons.
Yeah.
But he never responded back to my text message. I was like, that mother effer ghosted me. Love the man, but it ghosted me.
Cheap date. Pratt, some of your social media that people can reach out and follow you on?
I got the Twitter. That's at Prince of CMD. So you can find me there. Give me a follow. I follow back. You can hit me up on Instagram. It's Prince of CMD _ Desean Pratt, and you can find me on Facebook. Desean Pratt. I add about just about anybody. Just about.
Just about.
I'm a little picky.
Don't
I'm a
be
little
a
picky
stalker.
choosy nowadays.
I noticed you haven't been not too active on on the book.
It's I have my moments where I was like, I'm super, social. The moment that I take a fall off a little bit, because again, it's like you don't gotta know every facet of what I'm doing.
Well, I started doing this like when I started taking pictures. I upload them to Instagram, and I have the Instagram linked up to my Facebook.
Yeah, and it just pulls
so that
everything.
way it just So I'm like, cool,
exactly,
do it like that.
Yeah. And no, I have it that set up too. Yeah.
And for anyone who wants any merchandise, simply go to prowrestlingtees.com and look up Desean Pratt and get that merch. Support the brother there. He has 15 million kids and 23 ex-wives he's trying to help out. He got kids to put through college. He got alimony to pay
help
out.
Me, please help me. We gotta eat.
yeah. We can't live on bologna sandwiches, and ramen noodles.
And ramen noodles. You bring the childhood back.
Whoa, don't be talking that negative Nancy bullshit. You can live off of ramen noodles.
Shit, I love ramen noodles.
Yo, I still listen. Yo, I'm still just as hood as the day. Listen.
Yeah,
we making ramen noodles. What else? What else was we making? Fried bologna sandwiches.
Ramen noodles with eggs.
Oh, see?
Tell me you did that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I
go gourmet.
Thinking I was the only one that did that. Like,
nah, man, that's that. Straight gourmet stuff, man.
Like when I lived down in Orlando for high school, like I lived in Pine Hills, which is a really bad part of Orlando. I learned how to make that, and the first time I ate it, I was in heaven. My friend's
man.
His mom's like, "Oh, we're gonna make ramen. I'm gonna add some rice in there." I'm like, "Hold on, ramen, like the little." She goes, "Yeah, don't worry, you're gonna like it." I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "This is the we're broke, we live in the ghetto food." I'm like, "I'm down.
Listen,
I like food, dude."
Listen,
when I tell you, I don't know what she made. How she did it, it was so fucking good.
Yeah,
I was it's called that ghetto gourmet. That's what we call that.
I got that ghetto gourmet. I would find different packs of ramen because you never had enough of the same one. So I would get like a beef, a chicken, a pork, whatever. Put it in. Put all the package in there.
Yeah.
Go to the spice rack. Get some oregano, parsley flakes, whatever else. Put some adobo, get a pack of sazon, throw that up in there.
There you go.
I would go get some mushrooms, some baby corn, throw that in there, as well as the Vienna sausages. Throw them in there too as well.
You just like sausages, so it's okay.
Shut up. Let it go. But yeah, it'd be so nice, like, because you hooked it up. I gave it to the kids, and then I'm like, you know what? As it's hot with the broth, you put slices of cheese on top.
Yeah,
and just let it melt.
Make that thing hearty.
Yo,
make that thing hearty.
I don't
heart attack.
I do the
heart attack
cheese.
waiting to happen.
Yo, but that's the thing though. Like that's what we needed. Like what I'm saying, because again, Kensington, Camden, like that's what we had. You go to the corner store, you get a pack of ramen noodles for like what, 50 cents?
Yeah,
well,
no lie. Last year, I gave my oldest daughter. I got a box of shrimp ramen noodles, and I wrapped it up for Christmas.
Yo,
I gave it to her, and I wrapped individual packets up and stuck it in her stocking because she eats ramen noodles a lot. She
Listen,
that shit.
The shrimp ramen noodles is where it's at, though.
See, I don't like seafood, so I can't eat it. I know it's weird. I eat tuna fish out of the can. Yeah. That's as much fish you'll ever see me eat.
Right.
What? No, I could. My chicken flavored is my favorite. The beef's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not fully sold on the beef. I think they're always like one day it's great, the other day it's like now that tastes like ass.
Right, it's very fugazi.
I can mess with chicken all day long.
So right now, I already determined if I ever run and I book Desean Pratt, people, please bring your ramen. Bring
ramen noodles.
Bring packs of ramen to the show. He's getting paid in ramen.
Yo, listen.
Yo, that would be some shit if people start bringing ramen and throwing it at you while you're in the ring.
Look, you know what? I'd be like, yo, I'll be eating good for the next God knows how long.
Look, if they do that, I'm going to come out with the book bag and I'm jacking the shit out of them all. He can't do nothing. He's in a match. What are you going to do?
I'm in a match. I can't eat the ramen noodles, man.
You can't even grab them. You're in a match, bro.
Man,
bro, I got you. I got you in the bag.
There you go, man. I got to offload those to you.
Where's the ramen at? Oh,
right.
$1 a pop, bro.
Gentlemen, we are horrible. We are awful because the time frame. we are bad to the bone right now. But Desean, thank you for coming on Thursday Night Slam of the Bias Slams podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any shout outs or last words of encouragement or anything you want to say out there to the fans before you go?
I mean, I just thank you guys for riding with me for the past 15 going on 16 years. And listen, I'm getting up there in age, but I still, age like fine wine. I still got a lot in the tank. And I still want to entertain you guys. And I'm still going to do that to the best of my ability every night.
Sweet. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, like I said, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
Dennis, you know what? I'm not even going to kick him out of the room. We're gonna end it like this with all three of us on the screen instead, because he's a main eventer in my book. He's top-notch guy, always much love, much respect every time I see him.
Thank you.
And but you know what, like I said, everyone, if you want to tune back in and you want to catch the replays of this by chance, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or if you're on the go in the gym, matter of fact, and you say you work out anyway, so you're in there and you're training people, you can put it on the headphones stuff. Go to bodyslams.pro and you click on the podcast section, go to listen, and you can pick any one of the platforms, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, or whatever other one we have up there that you can play and listen to, and you can listen to our past shows when we talk to other people as well. But that's it for tonight. Thanks again, everyone. Desean, Dennis, everyone. I'm Chio, and this is the Body Slams podcast, and we're out. Thank you. Peace.